When Western men think about taking a wife from a separate culture, a different culture, there's a bit of a stigma attached to that sometimes. And there's a bit of a concern, is she just using me for money? Is she just using me for citizenship? And this will be reinforced, right? If you've ever watched a 90 Day Fiancé, you'll see this. I watched a few episodes the other day, actually, and I could see that every Western family was really worried about this happening. So what a lot of guys do, so I see here in Belarus, it's remarkable how many Western guys are floating around in small cities with a Belarusian wife and a couple of kids. It's quite surprising, actually. Once I'm here, it's like, wow, that's kind of crazy. So a lot of guys are sticking around here and replanting themselves in Belarus with a Belarusian wife. So it's nice to have the theory that, these women are gold diggers and blah, blah, blah. It's nice to have this theory. But what actually has happened, right? What actually happens 10 years, 20 years, 30 years later? Well, fortunately, I've met a lot of men in Belarus who live here, who are married or divorced. And I'm going to tell you what I've seen. So I'm talking about foreign men, probably Western men, more than half American, the rest kind of Western European or Australian. Actually, quite a few Australians here. So first thing that I've found is that there's a lot of divorces and there's still a lot of marriages. Like, you would think that if the woman's getting a really good deal from the guy's bringing in a Western income, maybe more subservient Western attitude, blah, 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 blah. You think that she'd stick around, right? But it seems not. It seems there's a lot of divorces, actually. What I do find, though, so let me separate this into kind of age groups. What I do find is that older guys that come here, maybe 50, 55, even older, they might take a wife who's maybe 40 or something. These ones seem to last. I'm not sure exactly why, but women who are older don't seem to want to leave the husband quite so much. So that's just something to think about. And again, I don't even want to get into the reasons why. That's a complicated topic, but this is what I see. This is what I observe. If there's some interest in this, I'll maybe make another video talking about that and the reasons. Now, younger couples, it's more of a mixed bag. You see some that are still together and are still working kind of okay. And you see a lot that are divorced, actually. I'm surprised how many are separated out of the younger ones. So it does happen here. They do divorce, even in this environment, they do kind of divorce, which is, again, kind of surprising. I'd love to get to the bottom of a few more of those situations, but you have to be careful of the questions that you're asking, right? You don't want to ask someone about all their life secrets when you've only met them twice or whatever. But as I say, I do see quite a few divorces here. Yeah, but again, a lot stay together, especially the older ones. So if you're an older guy, you're maybe 50, maybe 60, you want to maybe retire somewhere, as long as you're cool with the European climate, I think if you're worried about divorcing or something kind of ugly happening, I think here you're probably going to be okay for the most part. The younger guys who want to come here with family and maybe have children and whatever with a wife, that's more risky. It's definitely seen that. Some of these women are divorcing men as well. And look, this is a complicated topic. You have these kind of cultural things, which is kind of easy to talk about. But then you have, personal differences and all this kind of stuff. And, maybe foreigners that come here are a bit messed up for some reason, or, you know what I mean? There's a whole lot of other variables. But I'm just noticing that the younger couples are more likely to divorce. So there'll be more kind of single dads here, like Western single dads that may be 40 years old or something like this. The other thing I noticed is that when they're in more of a rural area, they're more likely to stay together as well, actually. So maybe the woman who is happy to live in a rural area is more inclined to want to stay in a relationship in the long term, maybe, just thinking out loud. Whereas the one who wants to stay in Minsk, maybe he's more money and job orientated and maybe less kind of relationship orientated. This could also be a reason as well. But overall, they're the patterns that I see, looking at maybe 10 or so relationships with a foreign man and a Belarusian woman. These are the trends that I've observed. So it's a fairly small sample size, but everything I've seen kind of makes sense. So I'm fairly confident in what I've seen. I hope you enjoyed this content. I've got so many more videos about Belarus and their culture and their people and their customs and the rest of it. So please do watch a few more of my videos, and if you enjoyed those as well, do consider subscribing to my channel.